you know, it's not an easy answer what you're going through and what many people are going through, the dreamers like you're talking about. I believe in the American dream. Obviously, I believe in our ways. We, the people, have had Congress and Senate and presidents in the past 250 years create laws that we, the people, believe in. And here's the unfortunate part. There's 8 billion people on the planet Earth, right? And out of those 8 billion people, there's 350 million Americans. Now, out of those 350 million Americans, we allow 1 million people here per year. And we don't even really have the jobs, the resources, the hospital staff, the schools, teachers to teach more kids. We don't have the space, right? But we do it out of the kindness of our heart because that's what we're all about. We're all about different religions and people and cultures and all that kind of stuff, right? But here's the thing. When anybody jumps the line, bro, I mean, it's like being at the grocery store. Imagine like somebody getting in front of your line. There's like 8 people in line and you know, I just cut into second place or third place. Well, people that are 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th that are in line that have been waiting there for however many minutes, they're going to be pissed off, and that's not cool, right? There's a lot of people waiting to come to America. So when one person jumps the line and comes here illegally, this is the issue. This is what, and I'm not just saying me personally, I'm talking about, you know, I don't know, out of 350 million Americans, probably 200 or 220 million Americans, they want to put a stop to that. They're sick and tired of people jumping the line, not following the laws that we, the people, have created. I'm learning it's not about what my opinion is or anybody else. It's about the collaboration of ideas and opinions of the American people. And together we make laws that we all have to follow on the earth. So yours is definitely a rare case, but I mean, you sound like the diamond in the rough, but I don't know how to solve that problem. I wish I had all the answers. I wish the whole world could have water, food, security, nobody was getting raped, you know.
See right there, you're talking about immigration. I mean, we could go all day talking about immigration. We're talking about this rule here.
Right.
We're talking about this rule. Like I'm bringing up, you know, we're talking about trucking. Now you're talking about America immigration. That's a whole. We could talk all day about that.
True.
Big topic.
True.
But I'm talking about this rule.
Non-domicile. Right.
This non-domicile rule that says, like, and I'm not saying opinions. This is what they're claiming. They're saying that these people that are getting taken out that don't speak any English, false. Obviously, I do speak English. That the people that are taken out that they can't read the signs. Obviously, I speak English. The people that are taken out that they can't pull out their 10-year record. People, and I'm not saying just me. It's most of us, the majority of us. They have our record every 2 years. I get my fingerprint. Every 2 years they do a background check to you know, so false. My thing is that all the claims that they're saying that people like me don't meet that criteria, we fit every single one of them, and that is why the lawsuit is in place, because this is, you know, if this is about immigration, that's a whole different bottle. But I am fighting the statements that they're making, and that's
right.
The reason we're here. You know, again, immigration, that is a whole separate subject, and I think we'll be there every single day talking about it. But
right.
I'm talking, and again, I'm not hiding, dude. I'm on here because I feel like, you know, we could talk. We're not. It doesn't mean like, oh yeah, we can't have a debate about it.
Definitely.
Because I'm not hiding about it. I'm showing, hey, I'm putting the face to it, and people like you have your opinion, I have mine. And
yeah.
Like, and talking. Maybe at the end of the day, we could be here talking all day, and things will still not change. But it's a start.
That's how we accomplish things. That's how America was born, by the way, was two mature people that could debate, that they don't even have to like each other. They just go back and forth civilly, respectfully, and hear what, you know, and try to go 50-50, if anything, right? Try to figure it out.
To summarize it all, man, I just want to be clear. It's just the way they went about it. If they were to say,
right.
Hey, you know, there's a lot of foreigners that don't speak any English and they're unsafe to the roads and they can't read, and it's just a danger. We're going to give everybody a test. Everybody that's non-domicile, we're going to make you do the test all over again. Because think about it. If English is the only, if you know, the goal is to have people speak English, why are they giving these tests in other languages?
Well, here's the thing, right? Here's my opinion, and so non-domicile, you either have people that are here illegally, again, that jump the line and went in front of, and we'll just take America out of it for a second. They cut in front of line in front of what? 500 million people that are trying to come here, number one. Or number two, hold on. Number two, a mega carrier brought them here saying that we have a driver shortage when we don't have a driver shortage, bro. We need people like your daughter to be able to make a living and live in America. Don't you want your daughter, you want your daughter, I'm sure, to be able to afford her roof over her head, food in her mouth, a car, all the things, right? How can she do that if everybody and their brother come here and just flood America before we can grow?
You're saying they, isn't the 200,000, isn't like 25% of them. Not all of us did that. What do you know, like we've been here for years, more than 20 years.
Right.
We've been here. When you say they, I think, like, let's be real. When you say they, we're talking about the last 5 years. That's what we're talking about, right?
No, I'm talking about anybody.
I can tell you the numbers. I can tell you the numbers, George, that I've been following. I've been doing this for 35 years. If you want to hear the real numbers.
Out of the 200,000, you're saying that we all cut it time?
So
No.
that 200,000 number, I don't go by. I go by the number from the FMCSA and the DOT. And for 8 years before COVID, 8 years before COVID ever happened, there were 2 million truck drivers. And for 8 years before COVID, there were 500,000 trucking companies. 8 years. COVID hit. And the FMC and the DOT started handing out MC numbers, 50,000 MC numbers a month during COVID for 3 years. After COVID, we were at 4 million truck drivers and 1.2 million MC numbers. I know this, George. 2 million people didn't decide to become a truck driver. They weren't here. There were pictures that said we went from 2
Are you saying all these people? Are you saying?
I'm not saying anything. That's the numbers. That's the numbers from the DOT.
No, all right, but does the DOT say they're all those are MCs created by foreigners?
No.
It's just in general.
Here's the difference between me and somebody at Freight Waves or somebody that doesn't drive a truck. I've been driving since 1990, standing in truck stops, and I watched the truck stops every single day, and I started not being able to talk to truck drivers at a truck stop during COVID. I'm not saying anything, but that's a fact. I watched it happen, and ignoring it would just be ignorant. That's not true. I watched it happen, my own eyes. I seen it happen in front of me.
Hey guys, real quick, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. Can you just give me about 3 minutes? Bob, Audrey, can you guys just take over for like 3 minutes while I use the restroom?
Sure.
Okay, I'll be right back. Continue, George.
Yeah, but see, you're talking about in general. That data doesn't specify. Hey, this number was created by these. Are you saying that people came into this country and right away they opened that MC?
All I'm saying is I watch numbers every month. They hand it out, and there's a lot of people that will watch them. It's real easy to get.
But we're talking about this rule. We're talking about the rule here. We're talking about this lawsuit. We're talking about that rule that they're trying to take our.
I'm talking about the people flooded. I'm talking about the rates. I'm talking about trucking in general. I'm not trying to direct the conversation, but when you say all these people, I watched 50,000 MC numbers a month appear every single month for 3 years. You tell me, who do you think they were giving them to? Who do you think they handed 50,000 MC numbers a month to for 3 years straight, which equals 1.8 million? The DOT handed out 50,000 MC numbers a month for 3 years straight. 50,000.
And during COVID, right?
Days.
That's after COVID?
During COVID.
Yeah.
Starting in 2019.
That's what. So you're telling me, for example, that's when everybody was paying all these overpriced trucks, and they're like, man, they're making $5. Let's be real. Let's be real. Since we're talking about it, I honestly came here talking about the road because that's the lawsuits that I did, and that's what I came here to defend my standing in it. But if you want to go in general, let's be real. When COVID, after COVID hit, right, and it started reopening, we all made a bunch of money, right? So you're gonna tell me there's a lot of people, and I've been driving, hats to you. You say you've been here for so long, hats to you, man. I've only been doing it for 11 years, but let's be real, and let's leave the race out of it, right? How many people you think, man, these guys are making $5 a mom, and they're making bank, and what happened? Hey, they tore your buddies, a bunch of them came during that time, and they bought these overpriced trucks, overpriced shredders, and they didn't care because they were gonna make the money. And now that the market, obviously the market's not good, right? But people people that came during that time were expecting that pay forever, and that was not going to happen. That was just a big boom. And now they have these rates. Now they're stuck with these payments, and now they're bitching and crying because it's a whole different story, right? But you can't tell me, dude, that they're
You're not wrong.
You can't say.
But you don't. But listen, you don't. I mean, you don't seriously believe that was 1.8 million people that were butchers and people that worked in stores decided to drive a truck.
So look, let me
their job.
Right. Look, let me summarize. Let me rephrase and start my statement this way. In no way am I saying that there is not a problem in trucking. In no way am I saying that there has to be something done to be fixed. What I'm saying is that the way they went about it with this rule is what I'm fighting. That's I'm not. I understand what you're saying. I'm hearing you.
I support you, George. I support you.
I'm hearing you, dude.
You are right.
I'm hearing what you're saying. Sorry. Go ahead.
Our government, they don't have a scalpel. They have a machete, and they go ahead and do what you're doing, and that is wrong. Because I know lots of guys. I've talked to the Hispanic community. I've talked to the Cuban community. I've talked to the Punjabi. I've talked to these communities, and it is a problem. And I don't know the answer, but I do know there's unqualified people by the hundreds and thousands, way more than 200,000 on the highway.
Yeah. So look. So to give you another perspective, right? When the last administration, when a bunch of people came in and then they got all this stuff, it's like a slap in the face to me that I've been here for freaking 30 years. Even I got mad, right? But what I'm saying is, I am no way saying that there's not a problem. We all agree there's a problem. What I'm saying is, hey, if you really want to do something, don't just freaking cut the whole head. Like there's a process. Don't just.
You know what it is, George? George, you know what it is? When people are being unalived, bro, that's where the government they'll just put a pause to everything until they can sort it out. And Audrey can tell you that our government is very, very slow. That's why we're so powerful. We're slow, we take records, we take notes, we write everything down, we have a record. And the United States government, they don't care about anybody's feelings. The number one thing that we all talk about is what? Safety as a truck driver, right? So when you have people being unalived in 3 or 4 different states, and everybody just knows about Florida and Ontario, California, a month ago, those 3 people, but there's many more than that have happened in 5 or 6 different states. So when that happens, the government's going to put a pause to everything. Now, is it right? No. Is it perfect? No, but the government has to do something, don't you agree? Or do we just let people run around wild and do whatever they want? We got to have some kind of structure.
Can I talk for a minute about Connor's Law? Just because I think this is really relevant to what we're talking about. Okay, so I'm hoping that you're all really familiar with the idiosyncrasies of Connor's Law. Connor was killed in Jacksonville, Florida in 2017. That was pre-COVID. So that bill was just introduced within the last year. That's almost 10 years from the time that young man was killed to the time that we're now introducing legislation. It does not happen overnight. It takes time, and like Vince said, it takes research, it takes all of that. So this isn't going to happen overnight, but to Vince's point is, it takes time get the bills right. You can introduce a bill that says whatever, and by the time it gets to the president's desk, it can look completely different than what it did when it was first introduced. Yeah. He was stopped in traffic when a Canadian truck driver traveling 70 miles an hour with cruise control on slammed into a line of cars. And that was Labor Day of 2017. So that didn't happen.
There's a second driver that hit him also.
Right. Yep, and that's where I was actually going to get to, Bob. But you're very correct, because that's what caused it. And then yes, he was hit by a second driver. And so the thing is that in 2021, a Florida jury awarded $1 billion in damages to Connor's family. So you guys had mentioned insurance. That plays a role into that. And you're talking about FMCSA had previously directed law enforcement to not place non-English-speaking drivers out of service. So now this is a public safety message, or a safety measure. This is coming to fruition. But the 2 parts of that is, especially in this conversation, that's important is he was hit. 2 trucking companies had over $1 billion worth of damages that were paid out to Connor's family. And if you Google Connor's family story, don't even pay attention to the trucking part of it. Google his family story because it's really interesting. But this bill was only introduced in 2025, almost 10 years after he died. Nothing is going to happen quickly. It's going to take time.
The bill was there long before. The author of that bill is James Lamb, and I speak to him, and I talk to him pretty frequently. He posts on my page pretty much daily, and that bill has been modified so many times. When it started off, it had way more teeth, and then it got knocked on and knocked. So it actually just keeps moving, and they keep redoing it because it has so many teeth in it. Like you said, they keep changing it, and it's really frustrating. And that story, I have talked to the author, and he has talked to the family. That's how he got the permission to call it Connor's Law. But it's that you're absolutely right. This problem isn't a new problem at all, and that's the part that bothers me because I've seen our government move very quickly on things that they care about, and not on things that are detrimental to Americans.
Right.
Let's all be honest. James Lamb is a lobbyist, and he has access to the legislature. He has access to congressmen, and he has access to money, and he's got the access to do that. And that is why he has that. That's the only reason. I mean, that's the reality. I'm not saying that's a bad thing about Mr. Lamb. I'm just saying that is the facts. Is he has been in the industry for a very long time. He's a well-known lobbyist. He has an amazing coalition, and he's built over the years. He's well connected, and that is why he's been as effective as he has been.
Well, don't you call that the haves
Yep.
and the have-nots, right?
Hey, hang on one sec, Phantom. So, George, we're getting off topic here, but I appreciate you coming in, brother. Do you have any last, how do we solve this, bro? And also, let me ask you, if you've been here for 30 years, bro, why aren't you fighting, I'm just curious, why aren't you fighting for Americans? You're American, bro. Whether your parents brought you here properly or not, you're American to me. So why, go ahead.
The way I see myself, I like the way I like to describe myself is like the foster child that just never gets adopted, dude. The way I see that is like,
Hey, we'll adopt you in here.
We've been here for so long, we just get,
You're,
we get passed down. When I say we, I'm talking about DACA, right? We get passed down through administration.
Oh, I got you.
When they get brought up, when they get brought up, when it's election year and they need a campaign, and yeah, we're gonna give these dreamers some the pathway to citizenship. Why? Because they want my cousins to vote, they want my uncles to vote, because they want to help me out, right? And then at the end of the day, it's just the way the rules are. People are asking why after so long I haven't been a citizen. If you think that I do this every 2 years where I go and get my fingerprints taken, if there was one way where I could do it one time and not have to do it again, obviously I would do it. It's just the way the rules work. I don't want to get too much into it, but there's only certain ways that I can become a citizen. And in my case, the only way I can do it is when my daughter turns 21, which is 3.5 years from now. I could have married a citizen, but I got married with my high school sweetheart that I met when she was 15, and at that time I was not going to ask her if she had papers or not.
That's awesome, bro. I respect that. I respect that.
She also has DACA. We both are just waiting. We're waiting. We're doing the right thing. And again, dude, I'm not against trucking. I'm not against America. I love America. I can tell you the pledge of allegiance right now. You know, and I just wanted to bring that conversations up there. They shouldn't include us all in the same boat, and that's all I'm fighting for. I'm not saying that there's not a problem. If I gotta take a test, send it to me. If I gotta tell you,
George,
you know, over it.
George, I have a question. So I think a lot of Americans are under the impression that there's this line that you're waiting in to become an American. And I want you to, it's easily, because I know that you understand it, tell them that there's no line for you. There's not a line for you to become a citizen.
No, so instead of a line, I could say I'm waiting for the window to open for me to submit my paperwork. I'm waiting for my window. Yeah.
But there's no line. You're not waiting for a certain.
No. So I'm waiting.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay.
No.
I'm learning
So
something.
basically, so basically, I'm waiting. So I'm only eligible for certain things, and one of them is when my daughter turns 21. As soon as she turns 21, she petitions me, and then I submit all my paperwork, and then I'm eligible. But have this in consideration. I literally went to Mexico 2 months ago under advance parole. I went to Mexico and came back, right, with a legal entry. So it's just, dude, I'm paying taxes. I have everything in place. It's just a matter of when you're eligible or not. And I'm not eligible until certain
Hey, brother.
you can't just go
I'm
to
your
the office and
follower.
apply for citizenship.
Oh, you are?
I see
And
all
apply
your
for
video.
citizenship
Oh,
under certain
man.
What's
guidelines.
your service?
What's your
That's
name?
the thing.
Sam?
Sam?
It's not that
Okay,
I don't want
thank
to become
you.
a citizen.
We're on a
it's
live
just,
right now.
You know?
Thank you.
I've
Yep.
had people explain that to me, and I think a lot of Americans think that you're in this line and you're waiting for your certain day. And I was talking to the Cuban community, and they were like, Bob, there's no line. Like, you keep talking about, like, that doesn't work. Like, that's not a real thing. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I thought there was.
No, yeah, so plain and simple, like even like me doing this, I feel like by me coming here, I achieved the goal that I wanted. Is by me coming and I go to other people, because a lot of people are like, yeah, that guy is racist, or they're like, no, it's just that they just don't know about immigration, because plain and simple, it's nothing that is not in the world. That it's like me. I live in Utah. There's a bunch of Mormons, right? I don't know nothing about the Mormon community. It doesn't mean I'm against them. I just don't know about their world.
Correct.
But now, for example, I'm glad when people ask me, I'm all for it, not educating, but I just spread the word, dude. It's not that I don't want to or I'm lazy. I can't simply go to the office and say, hey, I want to apply for citizenship. They're gonna be like, okay, under what category? Because you have to qualify under certain categories. You can't just, and then it also depends where you're born. I was from Mexico. Mexico doesn't qualify for a bunch of things that other countries do. Just example, Mexicans don't qualify for asylum. And why would I qualify for asylum if I'm not running from like, so asylum is because you're like running for your government or you're running for something. Why would people qualify? It's like, for example, Cubans, right? They apply for asylum and then they get citizenship and then they go visit Cuba. They're like, bro, I thought you were running from there, you know? It's like, it's contradiction. Or people that tell me, like in my case, people tell me, well, you should have married a citizen. And then other people are gonna say, well, if you marry a citizen for your papers, you're committing fraud. So you know me, either way, it's like.
Hey, Jorge, we gotta get moving, brother. There's other people waiting, but I wanna tell you one last thing, bro. I wanna direct message me, bro. I would like to talk to you, like on the phone, if that's okay. I'd like to talk to you more about this. You taught me something new today.
I'm for the truckers. I'm for America,
Cool.
dude. I just want to let you guys know that we're not against you guys.
Thank you.
No,
Okay.
Foreigners, we're not the same, man. All right.
Right on, brother. Thank you, man. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate your courage, brother. Thank you. And one last thing also, George, and for anybody else that's watching, if you are trying to get your citizenship and you're going the route of getting a lawyer, there are a lot of lawyers out there that are just taking your 5-10 grand and you're not even getting a second or third court date. So really do your research on attorneys before you just go hire one, because I know a lot of you out there don't have a lot of money. 5 grand, 10 grand, that might be all you have in your savings account. So see, we want, I mean, we're all human at the end of the day, right? What's it called? Moonshine. Bro, you got the patience of a racehorse, man. Thank you for your patience. Phantom, you too. Everybody else that's trying to come up, I'm trying my fastest to burn through drivers so everybody can get their voice heard. I really am. When something's a little more exciting or in depth, we'll go a little bit longer. But Moonshine, welcome in. What's up, man? Are you voting, sir? That's kind of the topic of tonight. Congressmen, senators, voting and how we gain real control for the driver and the small carrier in the American trucking industry. Is your mic on or off, Moonshine?
He's muted. Oh, I had to turn it on.
No worries, brother. Welcome in.
My name's Mike, by the way.
Okay. Hi, hello, Mike. Nice to meet you.
I'm the other half of Jane.
Okay. All right. I'm going to follow you right now. Jane, 3L Trucking or whatever. You're the other half?
I got my own Moonshine Express.
Gotcha. Okay. Got it.
Now, before anything's really going to happen in this industry is we got to get drivers to understand that if we stand together and fight for what we want, stuff's going to get done. Okay? But a lot of drivers nowadays, they're lazy. They want to buy a new pair of socks. They get online, they Google it. They find what they want, they buy it. But do you think that they will take the time to find out something like, what's Connor's Law about? What's this thing about? What's this about? They won't take the time to do that, but they'll take the time and spend an hour on there finding a pair of socks.
Or scrolling. Yeah.
You know? Yeah. That's more important to them than their job because they think, oh well, you know, it's been like this since I've been doing this. There's nothing wrong with it. I've been doing this for going on 35 years. I'm with Bob. I've seen it go, trucking industry go down the toilet. You walk into a truck stop, truck drivers don't set at counters anymore and talk to each other like they used to and shoot the shit. It's, you know, you go in there, you get your stuff, they park on the fuel island, they don't care, there's no camaraderie anymore. And the other thing is the safety with this industry. 1990, when I got my CDL, I had to go to truck driving school to get a job. I had to. It's the only way I could get the job. My school was 2 months long. You drove in the city, you drove on the highway, you drove at night, you drove during the day, you had empty trailers, you had yard time. Now you go get a CDL, 2 weeks, you go to work for, well, we'll just say Swift, because my mom's husband used to work for Swift, okay?
Okay.
You as a driver had your CDL for 6 months, you have on-time deliveries, no violations, no accidents, you got a clean, perfect record. You're qualified to be a trainer. You're qualified to be a trainer. How can some guy with 6 months experience teach a guy that has no experience?
He can't. He can't.
That is one of the other problems.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, it's crazy.
So Moonshine, do you know who your congressmen and your senators are, and are you voting this year? Can I ask you that?
Well, I plan on voting, but I only moved to Arizona a couple years ago, so I'm not up on all that stuff yet. Which, there again, it goes back to laziness.
That's okay. Hey, we're just encouraging each other here, bro. This is what we're doing, bro. This is what we're doing here, brother. We're just trying to encourage one another. And from what I'm learning from the last 2 months that I've been researching and learning and educating myself and other people molding me, shaping me, what I'm learning is if us 2 million American truck drivers really want to make a dent, if we really want to make, you know, 150 to 400,000 a year, if we truly want that Moonshine, we have to learn a little bit of civics and we have to vote. No more excuses of, oh, I can't make it home in time. Okay, then that just cost you $200,000. If you can't make it home in time, kiss 200 grand goodbye. I don't know about you, Moonshine, but for $200,000, I'll figure out a way to make it home. I'll figure out a way to make it home. And I just learned this. That's why I'm being vulnerable out here. I'm trying to show other drivers, hey, it's okay to not know who your congressmen or your senators are. It's okay. I'm 47, bro. I just learned that we have 100 senators 2 months ago. I had forgotten from high school, because you learn it in high school and or college, and then you forget about it, right, bro? And then we get into trucking, and then we get our license. Like you. You've been trucking for 30 years. You know, what do you need to know all this crap for? But right now, I think it's important that we get involved. We know this crap, and let's start voting these senators and these congressmen out. If they want to get bribed by lobbyists for the mega carriers and allow the mega carriers to say there's the ATA, American Trucking Association, there's a shortage on drivers. Oh, really? That's a bold lie. You just said that so you can get a bunch of E1 and E3 drivers and get them over here so you have cheap labor. So one mega carrier makes, you know, $500 million extra in their pocket because they're paying some desperate person from across the seas, you know, $500 a week instead of paying one of us $2 grand a week. We have families here. We live in America here, and it costs a lot of money to live here. Am I wrong? It costs a lot of money, especially now with inflation up. So drivers, join us, man, and get involved. Not even join me. Get involved. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry, Moonshine.
There hasn't been a driver shortage. It's been a farce, and for years. You
Right.
know, and as far as all the foreign drivers that are over here, if you're here illegally and you've been here for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years and you don't speak English like you're required to, that's nobody's fault but your own.
That's right. That's right. Well,
If you're here that long, you know how to speak it. If you're here illegally and you obtain your CDL illegally, you need to go.
You're echoing, Moonshine. You're echoing really bad. Thank you for the follow.
What about now?
Now's good. No, I agree with you. There's a lot of people that have been here that they tell me they've been here 10, 20, 30 years and they haven't gotten their citizenship. But they've started a business, they've paid all the permits, I'm not disrespecting anybody and I'm not calling anybody out. But if you've been here that long, why wasn't the first thing that you did was go get your citizenship? That's what I highly suggest you do first. Because a new administration can come along and just kick you out, right? Change some more rules. Every 4 years, all the rules are changed. And then boom, you're gone. Bada bing, bada boom, and it sucks. I mean, that's what I do. Take care of your priorities first. Anyway, Moonshine, we're gonna get some other drivers up here, brother. I appreciate you coming up, and don't forget to vote, please. All right?
Yeah. Hit me up in the month.
Will do, brother. Yeah, you're echoing really bad, brother. All right, Phantom, you are one patient man. Man, everybody's mic is off today. Maybe it's me. Phantom, welcome in. Or Fat Dog, sorry. Fat Dog, not Phantom.
I gotta remind you every time.
I know, brother. I'm sorry. There's a lot going on, bro. I'm looking through the comments. I'm, bringing people up. I'm getting rid of the scammers and the it's a lot of work. How are you? Why do you mute yourself? No. You muted yourself, brother. I'll give you a few more seconds. There you go. So,
All right, there we go.
how are you, man? Now you muted yourself again. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Really?
Now you're good.
Yeah.
You must be going through a bad area. Are you going through a bad area? You must be going through a bad area. All right.
I think Bob's doing it.
You think Bob's doing it?
Bob's doing it. Well, here, let me get out of the shop. I'm in the shop. So
We are voting for.
is that better?
That's much better. Cool Harv says, what are we voting for? Bruce, Congress and Senate. Congress and Senate. They're either for the truck driver or they're against the truck driver. I'll be honest, I don't even care about blue or red anymore, y'all. Up until 2 months ago, I really did care about one of those sides, but today I realize it's a lot deeper than that. They're two wings of the same bird. So they either work for us or they don't. Congress and Senate either work for us or they don't. If they don't work for us, let's vote them out. Let's get them out of there. Okay?
So one thing I wanted to bring up, Barrasso is
Was what now?
Barrasso is one of my senators.
Barrasso. Okay, what state?
Yeah. Wow. So, when the cross-border trucking program started, you remember that years ago?
No.
Some time ago?
No.
When they were bringing the carriers over from Mexico. You remember that? You weren't trucking then?
I wasn't trucking then, but what year was it?
Oh, shit, it had to be when Obama was in there, I think.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I started in what, 2016, 2017?
Well, that's what I thought.
No, wait.
NAFTA?
Not NAFTA, it's the cross-border trucking program out of Mexico and Canada.
It's the Mexico-Canada.
It was before the USMCA. It was before that. So, and then I think the USMCA had some stuff written into it about that and whatnot. But I talked to Barrasso on the phone. In fact, he was here in Cheyenne. So,
Cool.
talking to him on the phone, and I says, hey, he was down at his headquarters. I says, hey, maybe we want to think twice about this cross-border trucking deal. And he goes, it'll never be a problem. We live too far away from the border. Well, he was so far from wrong. And when he got Craig Thomas's seat, when he ran for that seat, he promised 2 terms. Well, he's been there. He's fixing to run for his 5th term. So, you know, until they get it on the ballot for term limits for themselves, which they'll never do,
Right.
until we riot in the streets and make them put it on the ballot, we're going to be stuck with this old bullshit way of thinking. And these guys aren't going to stick up. Now, I think we've got a fire lit under some folks' asses about trucking and how things are and the guidelines, and they're not the best guidelines and so on and so forth, like what Bob was talking about. You know, 50,000 a month or however many that was, I don't know, but I saw a truck the other day that had a 5 million MC or a DOT number on it, and that bothers me. But think about this: every small carrier, every pipeline company, all those kind of things have a DOT number now.
Sure.
And I think they really shot themselves in the foot, the FMCSA, when they required construction companies and pipeline companies and those kind of things to get a US DOT number, when what they should have been doing is giving them that and then discontinuing the US DOT number on the carrier side and moving forward with the MC number on the carrier side. Because to me, that just makes sense. But we've got a new way of thinking coming in because of these accidents. God forbid that we have any more of them. But why have we dropped our guard on not bringing people here to our country? Because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for open, Ellis Island being open at one time. So not just letting them come over the border, but come over here, do a couple of things that you need to do, learn a little bit of English, go to truck driving school, maybe have 2 or 3 drivers sign off on if you're proficient at your new profession or not, and if you're not, you go back somewhere else for a minute, right? I don't know exactly how that would work.
Right.
I guess what I'm getting at after 45 years in this business is I've seen it go from really good and a hero of the highway and all those kind of things and the kids pumping their fist going down the road to you put on your turn signal and you get cut off in the middle of busy traffic, right? Because nobody gives a shit anymore.
And you're a hazmat, right? You're a hazmat tanker or something. Yeah. It's crazy.
Right. So, and at the end of the day, and I know I'm all over the board, but I'm just trying to give everybody something to think about. I think we've got a different way of thinking in Washington right now, and I think we need to keep that ball turning. But until we get rid of some of that old blood that's in there, I mean, we got guys in there that are falling down, walking across flat marble floors, falling down on their face. Mitch McConnell, right? We've got people in there shuffling their feet. My mom's got Alzheimer's, and on these newscasts, I see that they're walking the same way my 85-year-old mother's walking. I think it's time you retire.
So brother, let me ask you a question, Fat Dog. Why isn't every single 350 million Americans focused on our government and focused on our representatives? Everybody just complains instead of getting involved to change it. Like, we tell the government what to do and then they do it. So why are we allowing this? It's like are we gluten for punishment or something? Like we just take it on the chin and we move on and we say, well, there's nothing I can do. Well, actually, yes, you can. If you're an American citizen, you literally have all the power on this soil. You have all the power. There is no king here that's over in Britain, right?
Okay.
I don't get it.
And that's a great point, and I'm just going to say this, and then I'll let somebody else in, okay? So what you're talking about is big money, right? And big ideas. You got lobbyists in Washington, right? And big money talks and bullshit walks, and if you're in some senator or congressman's pocket, you're going to get your way. And that's the way this world works now.
That's not what our forefathers set up, though.
It wasn't designed for that, but it works that way. And all these people that sit around here and they say, well, I'll vote them out. And I agree with you, they work for us. But if they've got their own flipping idea, just like Nancy Pelosi or Dick Durbin or any of these Democrats that just are hell-bent on leather to ruin our country, or at least try to turn it in a way that would ruin our country,
there's somebody so deep in their pocket that they're never going to go with us. It's just like me talking to Barrasso. He didn't think it was a great idea to stop the cross-border trucking program, and it wasn't going to affect us guys up here in Wyoming. Well, it has affected us. We've had several accidents with some of those carriers up this far. And
Right.
so, I'd love to make him eat his words, but at the town halls, they won't take my questions anymore. So
Keep trying, dude. We need patriots like you. We need more men and women to stand up. And think about it. You're teaching our kids and our grandkids. Go ahead, Audrey.
I'm a little bit north of you. I know Brasso pretty well. Been in there since 2007. Went to college just a little bit west of you there in Cheyenne. So pretty familiar with that YO 307 country. So Brasso's an interesting character. But what I want to touch on really quickly is I can't support term limits. And here's why I can't. I know this seems completely counterintuitive, but what term limits do is they actually empower special interests because they remove institutional knowledge. And what they do is that they force out experienced lawmakers who understand policy and legislative strategy, and what it does is it empowers special interests to go find people or go find young candidates, and young is a relative word. I'm not saying number, I'm saying young. People brand new to politics, they help them get elected, and then they're in their pocket. That's my only pushback. That's my only pushback on term limits. Is we've seen it, especially in the West. I mean, you've got Loomis in the Senate. She's amazing. She's been around a really long time. Sits on the Transportation Committee. Her chief of staff is amazing. But no, I completely understand your frustration. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's tough. It's tough, and especially when you get to those town halls and they're not taking your questions and they're not doing that, it makes it really hard, and it's really discouraging. I completely get that, but I think that needs to be fuel rather than snuffing out your fire.
So Audrey, and I agree with what you're saying. I really absolutely do. But here's the deal. So maybe the lesser of the two evils is we do what President Trump wanted to do in his first term, was drain the swamp. In other words, get rid of the bad actors. But then, if you've been in government, maybe you don't become a lobbyist. And maybe lobbying becomes illegal to a point, I guess. I guess I don't know how that works, Audrey.
So some states have that law. So some states have that law where it says if you've served in the state house or the state senate, you can't be a lobbyist for X period of time. We have that in Montana, where you can't be a lobbyist for it's 2 years after you have been a legislator or whatever. I mean, I think that is a way better. I mean, I agree with you. I think it's a way better way to kind of curb that, because you're absolutely right. You shouldn't be making, and this is my personal opinion, is you shouldn't be worth more money leaving Congress than you are when you went in. We look at, you're talking about Pelosi and all that. Look at what their net worth was, or look at Brasso. What was his net worth before he went into Congress versus what he's worth now? That is the big thing.
But I'll tell you one thing. Somebody said after COVID that Barrasso had $10 million handed to him from some big pharma outfit. And I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but, he's pretty successful.
He's a former ortho surgeon, isn't he, if I remember correctly?
I believe you're right, yes.
Yeah, so, but no, it's one of those things that, we've got to be able, one of the things that I really thought long and hard about is how do we limit special interest money? One of the things, I saw this with another lobbying group that I know, they're saying, hey, if you want to be a lobbyist, you can only spend $1 per vote. How would that change things if they can only spend $1 per vote of their members? So if you have 500,000 members, the most you can spend in Congress is $500,000. There's been lots of Supreme Court cases about that. There needs to stop being all that kind of stuff. I agree. I don't think it's an easy solution, but my concern with term limits are I've seen so many young legislators come in, and again, numbers not young, just brand new to politics, and they get wrapped up with a cause or whatever, and they just completely derail them. So I think there's a happy medium, but I just wanted to touch on that really quickly.
Holy moly.
I think what's
wow.
Montana, having a balanced budget at every session, right? Why can't we pass something like that so we've got a balanced budget in this country, or you lose your job, or you don't leave until you get a balanced budget, right?
Yep, that's the rule. That's the rule it is in Montana. So what he's talking about for everybody who's listening is in the state of Montana, the law is when the legislature is in session, the legislature has to pass a balanced budget before they're allowed to recess or sine die. And that's been brought up a lot of times is that how come we can't pass that initiative in the federal government saying, okay, you have to pass a balanced budget before you're allowed to go on vacation or you're allowed to recess or do all that. So that's been a conversation. We've heard that floated a lot.
Okay, well, and I'll step back. So you guys have a good night, and I'll just be in the background listening. Okay, thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Thank you, Fat Dog, for coming up, man. I appreciate you. And I want to let everybody know real quick, we, the people, can do anything we want. We can literally do anything we want, unless it's against the Constitution, right? Bob, did you have anything to add to Fat Dog? I saw you come up for a second. Did you have anything to add or no to that?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Audrey, so if you had a bunch of new congressmen and senators on the term limits, when they pass a bill, it goes to a special group of people that how it will impact the economy. Nothing gets passed without going to the impact of the economy. Wouldn't that protect the lawmakers' decisions?
No, because you're still going to have, those people are going to be endowed who helped get them elected. So if I'm understanding your question correctly, they'd still be endowed to who got them elected. So what would happen is, say Vince decided he wants to run for president or he wants to run for Congress, right? And he's brand new to the political world, and this organization, ABC Lobbying, comes to him and says, Vince, I've got $6 billion we're going to put into your campaign. And they get him elected. So who is he beholden to?
You're not talking yet.
Who was that? Audrey, where'd you go?
I'm here. I was just waiting for whoever was talking, so I stopped.
I mic'd it. Sorry about that. Go
Okay,
ahead.
no, you're totally fine. So
Yeah.
the problem is that what those lobbying groups do, or what those special interest groups do, is they go out and they prey on young candidates who are new to the process, and they go out and they recruit them. And so then they're always kind of like sitting in their ear going, hey, we got you here, we need you to vote for this. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could do it. It's just, keep in mind too, anytime we pass something, the Supreme Court has the final say. I mean, it's the checks and balances system, so that's what makes it incredibly tough.
Yeah, I wasn't really talking about that. I was talking about new lawmakers. When you pass a bill, that bill has to go to a group. I'm trying to think of the name. It's escaping me now. Where they actually check the impact to the economy or how it will affect people before it gets passed. And a lot of times it'll go that, and they send it back to Congress or back to Senate to have it do something to the bill because it's causing too much problem. That's another measure we have to protect it. New lawmakers don't do something that will affect the economy. So it's I'm trying to think of the name of the group. It's the budget.
Are you talking about the fiscal impact notes? Are you talking about if I draft a bill as a congressman and I put it out there, there's a fiscal note attached to it saying what the economic impact is? Is that what you're talking about?
There's a group, like all the bills go to them before they actually get approved. It's the impact, the economic impact. But then a lot of times they'll say, hey, you have to change this and this and this for this bill to go through because this is going to be bad.
So you're talking about the fiscal note, right?
I believe that.
So the fiscal note is what the lawmakers get when it says how it impacts government revenue or spending or economic activity, if I'm understanding what you're trying to get at. Is that what you're saying?
It's really escaping me. Is Charles Claiborne still in there? He would know the name of that group. The name of the people, like literally every bill you have to have a bill actually goes in the law, it goes to them, and they look up the bill, and it's a department of impact economic.
Do you want me to look it up real quick, Bob? Or
Yeah, I guess I'm not quite understanding. I mean, every bill has a fiscal impact statement. I mean, if it spends money, it has a fiscal impact note. But the problem is that
CBO. CBO.
CBO.
That's what Charles is saying. CBO. Is that right, Bob?
I believe
Trucking.
that's
Oh
it.
no, trucking OBM. Recover 53 says OBM.
Congressional Budget Office. OBM?
Somebody
Yes,
else is
that's
saying.
it. That's it. The budget office.
Congressional Budget Office, so CBO.
Yeah.
So the CBO analyzes the fiscal impact. So they draft the fiscal impact note. Now I know what we're talking about. So we were all talking about the same thing, just using different terms. So yeah, they rely on the CBO scores because it basically every bill gets a CBO score. But the problem is that it doesn't advocate for policy. It's just data. So if I draft a bill that says everybody who's over the age of 45 has to give $1 to this fund, obviously that's a huge financial impact, but the thing is that doesn't stop legislation. You can still do it. It's just informational data. It doesn't have any impact on whether or not the bill is pushed forward.
They have the ability to stop the bill and say, hey, this isn't any good. You got to rewrite this and send it back into committee. I believe that they go back into committee with the bill. If they say this is bad, you got to fix it.
They're a watchdog group. They absolutely have the right to say it. The reports are public. I mean, anybody can read it. But again, it's an education component. They don't stop bad bills.
Okay. See, I thought that's how that worked, and I'm asking you. I'm not telling you. I just thought that's how that operated.
No, that would be. That would be great if it had teeth. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like if it was about over a certain threshold, or it was, something absolutely absurd, that would be great. Unfortunately, what they do is that they create a score. They're a nonpartisan. So, I want to go back a little bit so I can explain to the people who are on it. So, the Congressional Budget Office is a nonpartisan federal agency that provides budgetary and economic analysis to bills through the U.S. Congress. It is really important because it talks about how proposed bills would affect the budget, what their fiscal impact would be. And so every time a bill is drafted, it goes to the CBO. CBO assigns it a score, and it kicks out this little report saying, what is the fiscal impact? What will it cost or save? It uses GDP and employment and trends and all that kind of stuff. And it spits out this little report. And anybody can look at that report. Anybody can go in and look at it and say, hey, this is XYZ bill. I want my congressman to support it because it's going to do whatever, or this is the world's worst bill. We need to kill it. A lot of people use that. It's a really good voter education tool. I tell people to use that. But it also serves as a tool for watchdog groups to hold Congress and people accountable. So, the CBO score can make or break a bill, but it can stall legislation. But at the end of the day, it's a nonpartisan. It's just an education tool. So,
what does that stand for again, Audrey? CBO?
Congressional Budget Office.
Sorry.
Thank you for explaining that, Audrey. See, I was under the impression that they could stop a bad bill or something. So I think, I got that. In my brain, I thought they could do that. Now I understand much better what their function is. Thank you.
Bob, if you want to draft if you want to help create a federal agency that'll stop bad bills, I will totally help you write that, because that would solve a lot of our problems.
Well, I agree. There should be. I thought we had it. They were just doing a really bad job.
Guys, I will be back in another 2 or 3 minutes. I have to go down and finalize my oil change. Is that okay? Can you guys kind of run it just for a second? Or do you guys want me to take you?
You left the monkeys in charge. Go ahead.
All right, you guys are in charge. I don't know where you went, Jane, but come back. And are you guys done talking? Should we bring... Yeah, just go ahead. I'll be right back. 2 minutes.
Okay. Is everybody's mic open?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I really didn't. That's what I wanted to. I have a clarification of it now. I thought that's what their job was. And I now have it's more of a report than a watchdog thing than it is actually saying, well, I think they have sent something back and they have changed things in the past though, right? If I haven't actually done the research. I was talking to somebody about it. They said, oh, that bill got sent back because the budget committee said this and they changed a few words in a bill and then it got approved by the budget.
Yeah, I mean that can go back. I mean, and who's the budget committee? Is it the caucus budget committee? Is it the party budget committee? I mean, there's so many people who are looking at that. I mean, is it a CBO score? You know, it's kind of all those things. I mean, it's really kind of fluid. I mean, if I was a congressman and my bill came back with a CBO score that was absolutely, you know, the cost was too high or something, I absolutely would probably, you know, kill it, rewrite it, amend it, or whatever. But again, if you're beholden to special interest and you're trying to get something through, you're really not going to pay attention to that, which is sad. But it's the way it is. Somebody posted the bill must be posted 30 days prior to the vote to the general public. A lot of times those bills are posted way before 30 days because it gets amended and audited and you'll get a CBO score and all that. So I think that might be what Jim the trucker is talking about. I'm just reading the comments here.
I'm still educating myself also. I got a handle on it, but I'm still learning a lot.
Shit. Sorry, guys.
It's tough. I mean, it's incredibly boring, and it's hard to get through, and it's a lot of words, and it's a lot of process, and that's no fun. So I kind of envy you drivers. You guys get to get out and see some country and some beautiful things, and so all the stuff.
What did I miss? Anything good? Can we burn through drivers? Just so everybody knows, Freightliner just advised me I have to, at 5:45, if you guys want to keep this live going, we can, but they got to close shop at 6, so at 5:45 we're going to start moving. Let's get ST Sorry, I'm out of breath running up those stairs. STG, welcome in, man. Thanks for your patience. Do I have your mic on? Or STG, I think your mic is on, bro. Let me check real quick. See, this microphone is on. You should be good, man. Let's see. All right, we're going to have to move on to old school if, yeah. STG, can you hear me or no? I think your mic is on, dude. You have to take your mic off, STG. Going once, going twice. All right, brother, we'll come back, okay? We'll try it one last time, and then, yeah, come back and I'll put you up first, okay, STG? Come back and I'll put you up first before the others. Oh, dude, what's going on, old school? How are you?
Hey, it's doing all right. It's always great to see you guys being active. One of the things that I just to mention is, you know how we talk about truck drivers being lazy. We just heard about it again right now, and Audrey was saying that a lot of the drivers are very ignorant. She's got a PhD in this matter, and she's still learning. Can you imagine that? She's locked up in a box for years.
That's why she keeps saying, like,
it's reality.
Yeah.
I think this.
Go ahead.
And this is why, for me, it's important to come up with an office or a new group that will now sell out. Another thing, truck drivers like myself, being out there for almost 4 decades, we're already tired of people burning us. We trusted so many organizations that have sold us out. And another thing this is why I like you, Vince, personally, because you are realizing that it's not about red or blue, because it's been over 4 decades. And anybody says that it's been the red or the blue, you're out of your mind, because there's many of them that have come by and gone by, and we're still worse. So let it be known that it's not about Democrats or Republicans. It's about all of them just looking up for themselves and abandoning us. They only use us when it's convenient for them. So if we don't look out after ourselves, nobody will ever. I believe that a strategy that will work, just brainstorming and listen to you guys now, is why don't we take the offense, and instead of, you know how, I don't know about you guys, but I get maybe like 10 to 20 scam texts or emails. I think we need to have an office. I continue to say this with a table to keep each other accountable, and send out messages via email, because this information is public. So if we get emails or texts from scammers, from possible brokers or dispatcher services or finance groups, why can't we just send texts or emails to, I believe we're on the 3.5 million, according to the numbers for drivers out there, right?
Well, 2 million American, 3.5 total maybe, but 2 million are American.
Yeah, and we don't know the status, right? We thought that everybody that had a CDL should be legal, and we're finding out, right, the numbers are not really what we thought they were, because of this unfortunate incidents that continue to happen. But we need to take the offensive, and I believe we're more productive in an office sending a bunch of emails to real truckers, because a lot of times it's not that we don't want to be proactive, it's just that we don't know how, because so many have sold us out. So there's a great movement right now, platforms like yourself, great people like Audrey and Bob and so many others, right, that are like-minded. But we need to have something going on as far as an office. I don't know if you need to have a nonprofit to represent all of us here that are still in the movement, still in high hope. But really, I really hope and wish that whoever's passionate about red or blue, put that on the side and be passionate about trucking, and an equal equality for all truck drivers, because we all are suffering out there. We're laughing and crying at the same time. So let's do it like the unions do. We don't care where you come from, what you look like, what your beliefs are. Let's just walk like brotherhoods, like the old days, to better one another, looking out for the neighbor instead of ourselves first. That would be the mindset, I believe. But I believe that, like, Audrey has a lot of the wisdom or knowledge from the courts or the legal system. We can have some kind of organization to be proactive and reach out this 2 million, whatever the number is, of these truck drivers to represent ourselves and lobby for ourselves and put pressure on the government to flip it around, because, man, they've been doing with us whatever they want. Let's turn it around and remind them we voted for you. We demand answers. So let's turn it around. And that's just my opinion about this whole matter.
Right on. Are you going to be voting this year for Congress and Senate? Or do you know who your senators are and your congressmen? Are you going to be voting them in or out? Out if they're not working for the trucking industry?
Aguilar and Moreno, I'm proactive here locally. We had issues with parking. They've been kicking us out. They've been kicking the farmers out here in Cali. So it's been hot out here. I do get proactive here locally. I always vote. I know you guys know my state here is very strong blue. Probably get stronger this new midterms.
Oh yeah.
But I do get active. And I do participate here in the local community and around my area, trying to pass awareness. And I'm building this other platform to continue to not only.
What's that? What's your platform? What's your platform? Go ahead and tell everybody.
Well, I don't know if you guys probably didn't know. I was running that Truckers from Past, Present, and Future. We had over 600,000 drivers, owner-operators.
Wow.
But the Russians took it down, got hacked. So I'm starting a new one. So whoever supported us in Truckers from Past, Present, and Future, thank you all. It was a strong group. We had a lot of educational information there. We were sharing daily life there. But I'm starting this new one. I started about 2 months ago with this new TikTok thing that I'm creating. I only got about 15,000. I'm waiting to like 20,000 to open up the mics and talking about
okay, everybody.
Just like you.
There you go, everybody. Everybody go follow Old School. See, this is how we get it done. Everybody go follow Old School and get some of his videos and share them to other people that you know, and they'll share it to other people they know, and that's how his numbers will go up, because he needs to reach all 2 million American truck drivers as well. There you go. Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And the other thing, just for the minorities, I consider, I don't like the word minority. That is a government attack to divide us.
Divide us.
But just whoever's out there that feels an outcast, feel attacked, hey, hang on in there. I myself, just for you guys to know this, when things get hot, a lot of us minorities get discriminated a lot. I can speak for myself. I've been stopped twice, and for the past 35 years, I've been pulled over and been profiled. And we all know basic law, right?
That sucks, bro.
Cost.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way in real America. So just for all of you guys that have been tagged or been discriminated or profiled, remember, I'm one of those guys, but I still believe in America. I still have faith in the system, and I still obey the law, And this moment here, be patient, just like the other guy, Jorge, was saying, we feel the pain, but at the end of the day, we have to have faith in the system. We have to have faith in this movement. We have to have the growing pains, but in a positive way.
Yep.
So hang on tight and go with a movement, because something is better than nothing.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. That's what I keep telling everybody. Old School, listen, everybody. If we do nothing, I guarantee you 100%, everything is either going to stay the same or it's going to get worse. And it's probably going to get worse. But if we throw a bunch of crap at the wall and see if it sticks, who knows? It might stick. We don't know unless we try. right? So we have nothing to lose if we try. But if we do nothing, 100%. The GOT Act, right? Old school, I tried telling a lot of drivers about the GOT Act, and I had a few drivers that said, well, you know what? They're not going to do anything. And you know what I said, old school? I said, well, if you don't call your 2 senators and your congressmen and say I support the GOT Act, 100% we will not get overtime pay for truckers. That is true. But if you call your representatives, we might get it. Maybe. What do you have to lose? You spend hours on the dock. Hours. We spend what? 2, 4, 6, at least 10 hours on the dock a week. I do drive in. At least 10 hours a week I spend on the dock. So I easily have 10 minutes to bug these representatives. Now I'm bugging the living daylights out of Sam Graves out of Missouri, because he's head of the, correct me if I'm wrong, Audrey and Bob, but he's head of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, correct? So, you know, yeah, he's,
Yes.
yep. So, see, guys, I'm learning too, and I don't mind being the vulnerable one. You know, if everybody wants to call me, what do you say, Audrey? Not naive. What is the word you use, Audrey? You're not stupid. You're ignorant. Ignorant. I was ignorant. I'm still a little ignorant, and you know what? It's not a bad word. It's not a dirty word, right, Audrey?
Ignorance is only lack of knowledge. It has nothing to do with intelligence. It's not a bad word.
Right. So, see, drivers, not a bad word. Old school, thanks for coming in, bro. We're gonna be wrapping this up. We're only gonna go about another 5 minutes. So thank you, Old School, for coming in. Everybody go follow him and give him some support, and share some of his videos with your other trucking friends so that he could be known. People do it to me all day long. All day long I have people sending me videos of other truck drivers that I knew nothing about. I didn't even know they existed. Follow, 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 follow. That's all that's in my algorithm now. When I scroll on social media, literally, it's like 95% all trucking, and that's all I care about. I don't care about red. I don't care about blue. I don't even consider myself Republican or Democrat anymore. I consider myself, I want to get trucking. I want to try to be one small, tiny little grain of sand that helps to make the middle class strong again in America, for America. I'm not interested anymore what's going on in other countries. I don't want our tax dollars, my tax dollars, going outside of the U.S. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. My children need shit. My grandchildren need shit, okay? I need shit. Enough with sending money outside of the USA anymore. I'm not for that either. I'm not going to say exactly what countries, but y'all can use your own imagination with that. Old School, thank you for coming in, brother. You have a great day, all right? Or night.
Thank you. Good day to you guys. Thank you.
All right, brother. Bye. Take care. Bye. Let's see. All right. Mo River, we're going to start you in just 1 second. I just want everybody to know that everybody that's been trying to come up, I'm not, there's no reason for you not to be able to come up. I especially pick people that are new. I try very, very hard. If you've come up here before and you're requesting to come up again, and there is somebody else that's brand new that has never been here before, I'm going to pick them first. And it's nothing to do, no disrespect. I say this very respectfully. I do that because every voice matters. And you might be the one person that can figure out this whole thing, right? So that's what I want. I want constantly just new people up here. So with that said, so don't take it personally, please. If there's no new people coming up, I promise you I'll bring you up. And Cisco, I'm mainly talking to you, brother. You've been up before, so that there's so many people coming up right now, probably because Audrey and Bob are here also. So a lot of new people are coming up. I want to get them first. I'll try to get you up, Cisco, if I can. All right, brother? Because you ask me tough questions. You strengthen me, actually. Mo River, I'll shut up now. Go.
So, I've gone in on the local side and done. Sorry, I'm checking cows while I was waiting here.
Right on. That's cool.
With a lot of this is like I went into my state legislature and I stood up. We had a bill that they were trying to pass where they're trying to make it to where you could do 16-foot wide at night with ag equipment. The problem is that 16-foot wide at night on 2-lane county roads is dangerous as hell. I'm a professional driver. I've been,
okay, anyway, sir, they're making oversized too. Sorry. guys. SCG, go ahead and let's wrap it up. I'm sorry, I don't want to be disrespectful to for this. I'm just going to end the live. Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Go ahead. Okay.
And I've just been listening in, and the pains that you guys are feeling south of my border is no different than what we're going through. It's I mean, at least you guys have a voice.
Yeah.